Welcome to New Mexico Black Rifle Operators Union. I'm your host, Sean. So some interesting news popped out today, and this has been rumbling around in Congress for a little while, and I've reported on it a little bit in the past. But Representative Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene are seeking to defund the ATF in the next appropriation cycle. What that means is they're looking at cutting the ATF's throat financially. So this has been something that I've known that Gun Owners of America have reported on. Firearms Policy Coalition has also. It's been all over Twitter here and there for about a month or so that this was going to come out. Now it comes out today. So what they're trying to do is take away all funding from them to basically rein them in. So this is the House using the power of the purse, finally, to reach out and touch someone that may actually affect us in the 2A community. What this could do is totally get rid of the pistol brace ban, could also get rid of the agency in general, but what I see happening is there will be some concessions that always happen. Getting rid of an entire alphabet agency would be nice, but I don't see that as possible. What they could do is cut their funding so severely that it makes them come to heel for a little bit, and then there'll be some concessions because there always is with politics, and that's where I think that they'll maybe pull back a little bit from the stupid overuse of Chevron deference, where they're trying to regulate something that they should actually push through Congress. After all, it does look like there's closer to 40 million of those pistol braces out in the world, and only 250,000 of them were registered. On that same docket, Brandon Herrera, if you don't know who he is, he's the AK guy. He's most known for the gun meme reviews or the Darwin Awards in the gun tube space. He actually spoke to, I think it's either Texas Congress. Let me double check that. Actually, I'm wrong. He spoke to Matt Gaetz in his hearing, where he was talking about the abuse period of the ATF's powers. Now, Brandon Herrera, if you don't know him or his politics, you should check him out. He's spoken several times at places like Turning Point USA, and a couple different talk shows. He's supposed to have made an appearance on Timcast, but that keeps getting pushed back for some reason. And I think it's because of his location. And Brandon is a very busy guy. He's also the guy who's making the AK-50. So he's making a 50 caliber AK from nothing, no blueprints, no tooling, nothing. It's been an interesting thing to follow as he's built some stuff. Dude's based as hell is what I'm getting at. He's very much a libertarian, very much pro-freedom. He has machine gun shoots very often. He's someone that we definitely want in our camp, and since he makes AKs, he will always be in our camp, I believe, because he's a pro-2A advocate. But what I was talking about is that Matt Gaetz being able to pull their funding, this happened because of this tribunal about their overuse, and Brandon actually went there. That's impressive. I wonder if the other people Brandon knows, if you watch Brandon's show at all, and I advocate for doing so. He works with Donut Operator a lot, and then Administrative Results, and M1 Grand Thumb. Now, this podcast isn't about him, obviously. As you can tell, I'm a fan. But it's the fact that we're actually seeing some behind-the-scenes maneuvering and politicking in our favor. Every time I, see the bad stuff coming out, there's these little rays of sunshine that keep coming out. Now, since Congress itself holds the power of the purse, that actually has some stroke, because what that means is they literally can tighten the budget on the ATF so much that it strangles them out, or it makes them concede to what needs to happen. And I think that's where we really all need to be. The ATF is not a good organization. They've been weaponized by both the last administration and this administration against American citizens. And it looks like, if you're paying attention to what's going on in other places, they're using the IRS as their back door to get in to start confiscating guns and to start confiscating and closing down gun stores, confiscating licenses, that is, FFLs. And that's a dangerous, dangerous thing. It's happening in a lot of left-leaning areas in Indiana and Illinois and Iowa and Montana now, where the IRS has been out. There's even one or two, I think, in Texas, where the IRS has been auditing. And the IRS, no matter what they say, they're going to find something wrong. You know, you can try to dot your I's, cross your T's, do everything correctly, pay your taxes, be a total statist, and they're going to find a way to ding you. You know, that one transaction you handed to your daughter so she could, using Cash App, so she could buy meals for a week while she's in college, that's something the IRS would look at nowadays. You know, it's sad that we've let our country get to this stand. But you're seeing pushback. You know, I'm hearing rumors right now that Biden is, and they're mostly rumors, they're being substantiated a little bit by some of the podcasts I listen to, that Biden's lawyering up and the left is gearing up for putting someone else out in 2024 for president. Like, Biden's going to find a way to go out to pasture, or they're going to push him that way. If that's the case, we have more to worry about, because there's a lot of people still very pissed off and would pick a ham sandwich over Trump just because they hate that man that much. Now, I would say that DeSantis is in the running, but he's kind of doing shady stuff with image altering on Twitter, and that stuff is kind of slimy, and that's going to come back and bite him. I'll wait to hold my final verdict on who I'm voting for. Right now, of the ones I've seen, the only one that's really kind of piqued my interest is Vivek Ramaswamy for 2024. Now, I'm still one of those guys that still kind of believes in voting, or at least for right now. We keep redressing these grievances until we can't anymore. You know, our founding fathers spent years doing what we're having to do right now to fight our government off. Now the government has gotten so big, and the left owns a lot of it, so we're having to fight just to stay alive in the 2A world. I mean, keep this freedom alive, that is. And we need to think really hard what our next steps are. And I think the more we get people in line with us in the House and in the Senate eventually, we will get to the point where these alphabet agencies are kind of called back to heel a little bit. You know, there was a point in time that having a government job was something you should be proud of. And nowadays you have to ask yourself, am I the baddie? You know, am I purposely hurting the American people in ways that we need to fix? So that's all I have for you tonight. I'll probably turn this into a live because I want to cover more about what this could mean, because this is kind of a big deal, bigger deal than what I can find since it's just kind of happened. Like, share, subscribe, be great.
My politics are rather controversial. Who would have thought that I ain't catching all slack and I have enemies on my